This week on Unscripted, a big name who has not been invited to SmackDown 1000. Who is it? And we'll talk about that all in some detail, and I'll have some thoughts on it myself. Plus, Cody on what he would do different for All In 2 if there was an All In 2. And WWE Evolution looks to be one of the worst pay-per-views of all time. This and more on the future #1 podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Unscripted. What is going on, everybody? It's Frost, and we're back again for Unscripted number 36 on September 16, 2018. This is, of course, Hell in a Cell morning or afternoon here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was in the middle of recording this for like 30 minutes, and then my mic just cut out on me, and I couldn't get it to figure out. So we're starting fresh here because that's just what we do right here on Unscripted. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, and the Mae Young Classic, of course, happened this week, and of course, 2 were really good, and 2 were just, well, 1 was okay, and 1 was complete dog shit, and of course the one that was complete dog shit was Monday Night Raw, where it was the Shield, and it was the Shield versus the Heels, again, as it was at the end of last week's show. The difference was, the Shield got the revenge, and used axe handles to beat the living piss out of everybody who was a heel, and I honestly think every heel was there, every heel was there. Every heel got destroyed by the Shield because WWE likes to feed everybody they can to the Shield. The biggest things outside of the Shield and Roman versus Braun that we even really got, because again, Monday Night Raw only has 3 matches going into Hell in a Cell. They got a Hell in a Cell match, women's title match, and tag title match. That's it. Why there's a tag team title match between the Dogs of War and the Shield is beyond me, other than the fact that they want to give the tag team titles. They want to give all the titles to the Shield. Look at the Intercontinental title. We'll talk about that later, where WWE had a article up this past week saying that the Intercontinental title has been revived, and who they said were responsible for that, 3 of them I agree with. 1 doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever, because he did absolutely nothing with the title. But Monday Night Raw had Triple H, who responded to what happened the week before, and Mick Foley also putting out there why he was there last Monday, and that was to make himself the special guest referee for the match at Hell in a Cell, which they say, and it's been said, the reason that he's there is because of the Straight to Hell 20 years of Hell, not Straight to Hell, but 20 years of Hell on the WWE Network that's going to air right after Hell in a Cell, which, first and foremost, why are you putting that on right after Hell in a Cell? Us as wrestling fans, yes, I know it's going to be on replay and stuff, but why am I going to want to sit through a comedy hour, an hour or 2 of comedy, when I'm just going to be watching the definition of a comedic show for about 4 hours in what we call Hell in a Cell? Outside of Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton, Charlotte versus Becky Lynch, and Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles, which, oh yeah, those are all SmackDown matches. I don't give a flying fuck about the rest of this show. But yeah, and it's kind of funny because you have Mick Foley, Triple H on this show, and everything that comes out of their mouths, the entire time they're cutting promo, they sound legitimate, they sound real, they sound like it's actually something that's coming from their heart and their head. Whereas everyone else sounds scripted, everyone sounds the same, formulaic. It's kind of funny where two veterans this week, the same thing with last week and the week before that when Triple H was there. Those, like Triple H, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker come out, cut a promo, and sound 10 times, if not 100 times better than anybody who is on the main roster right now. That is 110% sad. Absolutely sad that you have some of the most talented wrestlers in the entire world right now are on the WWE rosters. This is the most talent they've had in a long time, and they like, you have Mick Foley there. I don't care what he was in the ring with Elias. I don't care what Elias had to say. You had Triple H there, and everything else that happened on that show did not matter. Just like the week before, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels were in the ring together. We're going to have the Undertaker there next week, building towards Super Showdown. Everything else that happens on that show, not many people are going to care about. But when Triple H is on there, Undertaker's on there, Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, people still care. That shows you that how poorly WWE has booked or built up the current crop of talent. How are you going to have 4 guys from the Attitude Era in the New Age era come out there, cut promos, and pretty much put everybody else on the main roster to shame? It's sad. Monday Night Raw, that was about it, so I'm not going to talk much about Monday Night Raw. SmackDown Live has a little bit more intrigue with... It's like Raw has been more built around the Super Showdown, whereas SmackDown has been trying to at least make Hell in a Cell intriguing. Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura led to Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy brawling, which saw Jeff Hardy get some more retribution on Randy Orton before their Hell in a Cell match on tonight, which of course is only happening because Jeff Hardy wants to be inside Hell in a Cell, and I think this is going to be Jeff Hardy's last match. I do. I honestly think it is. He's going to go out on his sword, swanton off the top of the cell, and pretty much probably be done. AJ Styles is being outclassed in promo skills by Samoa Joe. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Samoa Joe is just really making it hard for WWE to not put the title on him between now, Super Showdown, and SmackDown 1000. We will talk about that later. But he is just in a class of his own when it comes to promos. This guy is great in the ring. I know I fantasy booked a couple weeks ago that Samoa Joe's probably not going to win the title this time. And he's going to, if he's still healthy and on SmackDown, which he should stay on SmackDown, he should face off against Daniel Bryan, who's going to hopefully win the WWE Championship at not Hell in a Cell, but at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam, where he will win his first WWE Championship and hold it for whatever else. But WWE, it's really getting booked into a corner there, because if Samoa Joe does not win the WWE Championship between now and Super Showdown and SmackDown 1000, then you're really missing the boat with this guy, because he's doing some of the best work, promo-wise, in-ring-wise, that anybody on the main roster is doing. But yes. And then, of course, Charlotte Flair getting beat down by Becky Lynch again. Definitely can't wait to see where this goes, and this is definitely going to peak at Evolution, where it should. Charlotte should be getting away. This should be... Brian Alvarez put it out there that I think he was talking to Simon Miller of What Culture Wrestling, which Simon Miller, if you know me, I don't care for the guy when it comes to his list or anything. He's just a boring presenter, but that's just my thoughts. But Brian Alvarez did say that he expects to see a double turn with Charlotte cheating. I would say Charlotte cheating to win. That's my words. I think she's going to cheat to win or do something to escape with the championship. And continue to do that until we get to Evolution. Put a stipulation on that match to where Charlotte will end up losing, and Charlotte ends up losing the title to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch goes on to be the woman to go up against Ronda Rousey in the champion versus champion match at Survivor Series, because you're not going to have Charlotte Flair take on Ronda Rousey yet. That is saved for WrestleMania. They don't usually care about that, but this is one that they actually care about, and they don't want to ruin that WrestleMania match by having Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey so soon. And the biggest shock of the entire thing, of the entire SmackDown, was the fact that Rusev Day is going to Hell in a Cell on the pre-show, but going to Hell in a Cell to face the New Day for the tag team titles. I was surely expecting them to have Rusev Day lose this match because of Aiden English, and then you have Aiden English Rusev turn on Aiden English, and on the pre-show you would have had Aiden English versus Rusev, with, of course, that being the blow-off for whatever. But no, they won, and I guess it would make more sense if they were to lose to the New Day at Hell in a Cell. So we'll have to wait and see. Then, of course, we get to NXT. Oh, yeah, before we get anything, Carmella's a babyface now. The last time Carmella was a babyface was Enzo and Cass NXT run. Was the last time she was a babyface. So, really, really interesting to see why they... I know it's because Truth and Carmella are in the Mixed Match Challenge, but that really didn't stop Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss from being a tag team in the Mixed Match Challenge Season 1 because she was a heel, he was a babyface, even though they wanted Braun Strowman to be a heel. Wasn't working at the time. But we'll see what happens. I don't really care about the Mixed Match Challenge. I'm not going to review it. I didn't watch it last time. I'm not watching it this time. It's not canon. Outside of Oscar's streak the first time, it was not canon to WWE. Stuff that happens on there does not really matter to the main show, so I don't care. Then we go to NXT, which saw Tommaso Ciampa return from hiatus for a good amount of time. He did come out with new theme music, which I think was labeled "This Is My Moment." He said, "This is my new theme music, and it is for me to politely tell you to shut up." And he pretty much said that he had nothing to do with Aleister Black, even though he was going to pay him a visit, but someone would be into a punch. If he was to find out who it was, he would give them a pat on the back and say, "Job well done." The main event was a real women's main event, and you may probably wondering why didn't he talk about the Bella Maurice match, sort of match for SmackDown's main event, because it wasn't a match, it wasn't anything worth talking about. It was just a way for, and we'll talk about the whole Daniel Bryan booking since WrestleMania, because a certain reporter or journalist has some harsh words for WWE on the booking of Daniel Bryan, but we'll get to that later. But if you want to see a real women's main event on one of the weekly shows, go watch Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair. That was a match for a real women's main event. Also, let's see, Cassius Ohno definitely is starting to feel more and more like the guy who actually attacked Aleister Black. When will we find out who attacked Aleister Black? I'm not sure. Probably next set of tapings, because that would be the 4 weeks in... let's see, this coming Wednesday. Wow, we do have one more Wednesday. So yeah, this next set of tapings will be the 20th of this month, the 26th of this month, the 3rd, the 10th, and the 17th, and then of course, of next month. So we'll probably find out either this coming set of tapings that are coming up or the last set of tapings. I'm not sure. But it definitely is, with the way he acted in the office of William Regal, that it's more likely going to be Cassius Ohno who attacked Aleister Black. And we also look like we might be getting a Matt Riddle-Cassius Ohno feud, which is fine. It should be a great feud for them, but definitely something to really talk about. Also, what else was there? Oh, yeah. Heavy Machinery got into a confrontation, like a verbal confrontation with Tommaso Ciampa. It looks like not this next week, but definitely probably next week afterwards, or something in the next set of tapings, we might get Tommaso Ciampa versus Otis Dozovic, because Dozovic got into Tommaso Ciampa's face, and Tommaso Ciampa has to teach him a lesson. William Regal, of course, wanted Tommaso Ciampa in his office, but we did not get to see what Tommaso Ciampa and William Regal had to say. So maybe we'll find that out next week. Who knows? And there was an argument between Dakota Kai and Aaliyah that spread to Deonna Purrazzo and this lady, woman's right herself, Lacey Evans. So we are going to get a tag team match next week with Lacey Evans and a mercenary heel Aaliyah versus Deonna Purrazzo and Dakota Kai. So definitely going to be interesting to see what we get from that next week. But of course, the biggest match coming in the NXT next week is the champion versus champion match. I'm looking forward to that. I will have a review up on the next things. If things change, it will definitely be up as soon as I can. If not, it will be Thursday morning next week, as it has been for the last 2 weeks. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, the Mae Young Classic happened this week as well, round 1, episode 2, in which we had... My standout was definitely Casey Catanzaro, with the fact that she pretty much toppled the giant that was Rihanna Gonzalez. Rihanna Gonzalez, I don't know how tall Casey Catanzaro is, but she's got to be no taller than 5 foot. She definitely she's definitely going to be one of those quintessential underdog baby faces who, like, if she went up against the Shayna Baszler would brutalize her, but she would continue to get up and kick out as much as she could until Shayna Baszler finally put the carrot for the clutch on her. And with her being an underdog, you don't want her to tap out. You would have her pass out without the creepy smile like Nikki Cross did a couple months, I believe it was Chicago. Yeah. But I could definitely see her go up against a Bianca Belair, and Bianca Belair just keep on whipping her and whipping her and whipping her with her hair whip, and she's not going to give up. That's just a great babyface. She is going to be the female Johnny Gargano, really, if you think about it, when she's in NXT, because she's just going to be that babyface that everybody can get behind. When Triple H, she said she talks to Triple H, when Triple H can see her as a heel, I don't buy it. She's just not made up to be a heel. I could be totally wrong, but with being the fact that she's that small, and other than probably Kairi Sane and maybe a couple other ones, she is definitely going to be probably the smallest person in the Performance Center. And when she does make her NXT debut for NXT, she's definitely going to be that one that people... I just don't see WWE or Triple H going to be able to get the fans to go against Kacy Catanzaro. Just how much heart she showed in the match against Rihanna Gonzalez. Deonna Purrazzo opened the show with, of course, Priscilla Kelly. Those two put on a really good match. The match after that, of course, was the Ariel Monroe versus Zeuxis match, and I didn't care for it. It just felt like it was the calm down match for the first round, because they did tape all 4 episodes of the first round, and after the Miko Satomura and Killer Kelly, because who knows how they actually, if they show these in the order they were when they taped them, they could do them differently. But Miko Satomura versus Killer Kelly was a hell of a match, and everybody had to follow that one. Definitely needed a calm down match, so it just felt like Zeuxis and Ariel Monroe was that match. Then, of course, Rihanna Gonzalez versus Kacy Catanzaro, which was a squash match with the squasher, the person being squashed, winning the match in a fluky roll-up, which is fine. It was a good thing that you had it that way. What was interesting after the match was that they shook hands, and then Rihanna Gonzalez picked up the tiny Kacy Catanzaro and just held her on her shoulder. And I'm like, yeah, that just shows you again that she is the quintessential underdog babyface that nobody will ever take seriously it would be really hard to take her as a heel. It would. Then we had the main event, which is Mercedes Martinez versus Ashley Rain. Goddamn, Ashley Rain. I know this was taped before All-In, but I hope that's not the last match we see. And that scared me for a minute when she got pretty much dropped on her neck. And it was so bad that the referee literally had to check and to make sure that Ashley Rain was able to continue the match. I disagree with who won the match. I think it should have been Ashley Rain to go up against Miko Satomura, which would have been great for Ashley Rain to be able to continue to show the WWE Universe what she can do. We already know what Mercedes Martinez can do somewhat. She has been seen in NXT. She was in the first Mae Young Classic, made it all the way to the semifinals. She's not getting there this time. She's getting beat down by Miko Satomura. I believe that's who she's facing. So, yeah. Definitely didn't agree with that one. Now, that is your NXT and everything right there, but before we get into the news we did have this past Wednesday, I didn't grab it because it wasn't in an article, it was in tweets. Stephanie McMahon, in front of the NBA, NFL Players Association, and other major sports organizations, stood up in front of them and with a fake smile on her face said, "We are successful because we listen to our fans. We listen to our fans." And I wanted to sit there and laugh. I wanted to sit there and just laugh my ass off. Yes, 2000, they should have stayed, 99, 97, they started listening to their fans. 98, they listened to their fans. 99, they listened to their fans. 2000, until Stephanie McMahon took over as creative director, listened to their fans. Even on SmackDown, when they had the SmackDown 6, they sort of listened to their fans. Raw, they didn't listen to their fans because Triple H was in charge and that was around the time of the Reign of Terror. But as soon as Stephanie McMahon took over as creative, It was after, like, right before the war was over. Well, the war was pretty much over by then. But it was just a figurehead then. But they stopped listening and they stopped caring, and they just gradually continue to fall down, into the deepest, darkest depths of obscurity. That's why, yeah, you listen to your fans, yet your audience has shrunk and continues to shrink and shrink and shrink. Wasn't it like 2-3 years ago they were still in the 4 and 5s? The last time they hit a 4 was at Raw 25, and that was because of Raw 25 and the fact that you had Stone Cold Steve Austin open the show. You had The Undertaker cut a promo that meant absolutely fucking nothing, and you had all the nostalgia. That was a nostalgia trip. Same thing's probably going to happen for SmackDown 1000, is you're going to have a nostalgia trip. That's coming up next month, by the way. It just, WWE doesn't seem, you just have somebody come on to a stage and be like, yeah, we listen to our audience. That's why Roman Reigns has been in the main event of WrestleMania for 4 straight years. That's why Brock Lesnar held the championship on Monday Night Raw for 504 days. That's why Braun Strowman has not won a championship yet. That's why Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, did not beat Brock Lesnar last year for the Universal Championship. That's why Asuka lost her streak to Charlotte and has been pretty much buried since then. Anybody who sits there and says they're okay with Asuka's streak now being broken still, you are a delusional fuck. Plain and simple. There was absolutely no reason for that streak to be broken. But yet you listen to your fans. That's why, and so Enzo Amore got fired. 205 Live was a laughing stock, but you listen to your fans. That's why Braun Strowman is a heel, because you listen to your fans. That's why you try to turn Becky Lynch heel at SummerSlam to a roaring applause, and you had egg on your face, but you listen to your fans. Give me a fucking break. The only person of the McMahons who listens to their fans is NXT and Triple H. The only one who listens to the fans. That's why you hear in NXT, you hear NXT chants. You hear this is awesome, and you see great matches. You see storylines that make sense. You see plot devices that aren't forgotten. You don't see very many plot holes in NXT. Oh, let me look. We went last Monday. We had, not this past Monday, but the Monday before that, we had the Shield arrested. They were fingerprinted. They were sat in front of a judge on Labor Day. I don't care who David Otunga knows in Cleveland or wherever. No judge, whether you are a friend or not, is like whatever favor you're going to call in. They are not working on Labor Day at 10 o'clock at night. Even if it wasn't Labor Day, I'm pretty sure most judges are at home by then. Don't even fucking try and pull that shit. But yeah, you listen to your fans. You brought the Shield back again to try and coddle and hold Roman Reigns from being fired, from being booed, but you listen to your fans. I don't know why it bothers Vince McMahon at all. John Cena was being booed from 2008 to now, and you took the dial and you turned it up so we could hear the boos. We could hear Cena sucks. We could hear all the hate for John Cena. But when we see Roman Reigns step out, the boos are there, but the volume is turned so far down that the crowd is dead. Why? Why does it bother you so much, Vince? Roman Reigns is a made man. Roman Reigns gets the biggest reaction, but it's not the one you want. Why do you care? It makes no sense to me. Why do you fucking care? You didn't care that John Cena was getting the biggest reaction. You didn't care that it was a boos or hate, as long as there was a reaction. Why is it such a big deal about if Roman Reigns gets booed or not? Why are you mandatory making whoever it is that runs your audio system, whether it's Kevin Dunn or whoever, you're telling them to turn the volume down on boos for Roman Reigns? Enough of it. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how much you try and you push, you keep pushing somebody, and you should know this. Wrestling fans are like a teenage child. You tell them to do something, they're not going to fucking do it. You wanted us to boo Becky Lynch? We didn't do it. You want us to cheer Roman Reigns? We're not doing it. You want us to hate Braun Strowman? back when he started, back when the brand split started, what happened? He was the biggest baby face on Monday Night Raw outside of Seth Rollins. Why does it bother you so much? Are you that fucking insecure, Vince McMahon? Are you that delusional? Your daughter was fucking delusional going up in front of all these sports agencies and all these sports representatives and saying we listen to our fans. Every single one of them probably sat there and laughed laughed on the inside because, again, your ratings are down, merchandise sales are down, house show numbers are down, TV show numbers are down. I guarantee you, Hell in a Cell has not sold out. But yet you listen to your fans. If you listen to your fans, you would be making a lot more money than you are. Your attendance would be max. I mean, I would go, and during the Attitude Era, you sold out the Georgia Dome for Monday Night Raw at least 3 or 4 times in 98, like 99, 2000. There was at least a few times you were in football stadiums because you needed to have that extra match. But now, you can't even fill a 15,000 seat arena. Ridiculous. And yet you listen to your fans. You gave us Jinder Mahal from Backlash, I think it was May of 2017 to November of 2017 as WWE Champion, but you listen to your fans. Please. Give me a fucking break. You want to retract all that? Because, yeah, let's see. The Revival have been trash. AOP is now just AOP. They're not the Authors of Pain. They haven't done anything. They now have Drake Maverick as the manager, which nobody wanted that anyway. Let's see here. Oscar's been buried. Sanity hasn't done anything. Do I need to go on? Apollo Crews was brought up way too early and never got to really establish himself in NXT. Apollo Crews should have been in NXT and shouldn't have came up because he really didn't do anything. Yes, he was at Brooklyn the year before, but he really didn't do anything in NXT. And then we get to WrestleMania next year and they bring him up. Oh, wow, here's Apollo Crews, who really hasn't been worth anything yet. And now he's saddled with Titus Worldwide. Yeah. Tyler Breeze has been stifled and became an afterthought. Do I need to go on? Do I need to go on? No, I don't think so. Yeah, you listen to your fans. Give me a fucking break. That's a good one. Stephanie should be doing comedy because... she wants to sit there and spout lies and stupidity. Stay off my TV and go do that so I can sit there and laugh at your face. Just a joke. Absolute joke. Now that's over. Let's talk about this week's news, starting off with Edge to make his SmackDown Live return for SmackDown 1000. Should have saw this coming. According to Mike Johnson, the PW Insider, Edge will be making his return during WWE during the SmackDown 1000 Spectacular. Edge was a major staple of the SmackDown brand during the initial brand split in 2002. He was made a staple of the youth movement along with the likes of Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Chavo Guerrero, and Chris Benoit, also known as the SmackDown Six. He also won the tag team titles with Hulk Hogan and Rey Mysterio on 2 separate occasions. Following a brief run on Monday Night Raw from 2004 until I believe it was 2007, he did return to SmackDown and became the brand's top heel, and arguably had the run of his career during battles with The Undertaker, where he also is appearing at, who will also be appearing at the Spectacular. Edge retired in 2011 due to severe neck injury and nerve damage. SmackDown 1000 takes place on October 23rd from Washington, D.C. on the USA Network. Keep that Washington, D.C. in mind for a minute. But, yes, Edge was one of those people who should definitely be at SmackDown's 1000. Edge, Undertaker, for sure. They were Edge and Undertaker from 2007 to 2011 pretty much were SmackDown. It was Edge and Undertaker. He was like the top champion majority of the time on SmackDown too. Of course, I think Batista was over there again, and Booker T and others won the title, but he was like the top name, the top heel on SmackDown. And you really, outside of I guess Samoa Joe and AJ Styles would be the top two guys for this generation right now for SmackDown Live. But nobody will probably have a career in that time span of 2007 to 2011 in between there like Edge did. Speaking of the SmackDown 1000. And this one's not surprising, but also I think a damn shame. Former WWE Champion Batista says he was not invited to the big SmackDown 1000 episode in his hometown of Washington, D.C. As seen in the tweet below, Batista wrote in response to a fan comment, "Surprise, surprise, I wasn't invited and it's in my hometown, sad face emoji. Guess by now I shouldn't be shocked anymore." WWE is expected to bring several former superstars back from the 1000th episode of SmackDown, including WWE Hall of Famer Edge. The Undertaker is also scheduled to appear. SmackDown 1000 takes place on October 23rd from the Capital One Arena in D.C. The arena is advertising Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. I doubt that. That's probably going to, by that time, I think Jeff Hardy should be off healing himself after the Hell in a Cell tonight. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe versus WWE Champion AJ Styles, but WWE has not confirmed these matches, and why should they? That is still at least 4 weeks away, if not more. So why? It's actually more than 4 weeks away. It's like a month and a half away. Why would they make any matches for SmackDown 1000 right now? Not a pay-per-view, but this is a damn shame by WWE. Batista, from 2005 to 2007, I believe, was a main staple on SmackDown Live. He was the world champion until he got injured. He had that big heel run where he destroyed Rey Mysterio. That was probably later, also. But he was a mainstay. He was a mainstay on SmackDown Live for a couple years. It is a damn shame how WWE has pretty much just wanted to pretend like Batista doesn't exist. It's all down to jealousy. Did Batista quit in 2014 after being pretty much told, we're gonna make you WWE champion. You're gonna leave WrestleMania 30 as the world champion. They backtracked on that. Batista became the guy to take the follow-up to Daniel Bryan, and then he was embroiled in the Shield feud with Triple H, Randy Orton, and himself with the Evolution versus Shield feud. And then he pretty much didn't get what he was promised, which was a WWE Championship run. He left. He became successful with Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, Avengers, Infinity War, which is going to also get Avengers 4 coming this year, I guess. So yeah, he got successful outside of WWE without WWE's help, and they're pretty much like, "Oh, how dare you? We don't want nothing to do with you." It's sad, it's petty, and it's just WWE being a bunch of fucking assholes to somebody who kept them afloat in the 2000s, and it's just a shame. Batista should be at SmackDown 1000. He did play a big part in SmackDown during the tail end of the brand split, the original brand split. And he also made his debut on SmackDown as Deacon Batista with Reverend Devon. Why wouldn't they bring him back for SmackDown 1000? He might be coming back to SmackDown 1000, and it's just a way for them to, play kayfabe, because it would not surprise me if him saying that is him just hiding the fact that he's going to be there, but it would not surprise me if he's not either. It's a damn shame if he's not going to be at SmackDown 1000. And WWE, somebody, Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, need to grow the fuck up and let this guy come back. He wants to be part of WWE again, and it's on their end that he's not. What would Cody do differently for All In 2 if it was to happen? Recently on the Jim Ross Report, WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross caught up with the newly crowned NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Cody. Among other pro wrestling topics, the grandson of a plumber talked about his role at the All In and what he learned from his experience planning a sequel to the wildly successful indie show and the future of the NWA's top prize. According to Cody, he produced the second half of All In and was in charge of timing the show, which, if you weren't in charge of timing the show, then it falls on Cody with the fact that the main event was cut short. I didn't get a chance to sleep after All In, and I went right to gorilla position after my match, and I directed the time the last half of the show. Cody admitted, "I'm not the best timer judging by the main event time. I'm learning, but I didn't get that moment too. I didn't get many moments. It was just happening so fast." During the interview, Cody hinted at planning another All In and noted that he learned a lot about time management, except for timing pro wrestling matches. Yeah, it's also not his fault with the fact that Kazuchika Okada and Marty Scurll were being told to go home for the match, and they kept on refusing. They were ignoring the people telling them to go home. So I don't put that one on Cody, because you can sit there and tell wrestlers to go home and finish their match. But if the wrestler is just like in one ear and out the other, and they're just going to continue, that's on the wrestler themselves. Well, maybe we already started planning last, Cody added. I just kept writing these lists, and my dad was a big list guy, and I have become a big list guy too. I kept writing these lists of these are the things to do to make sure you're in peak condition, and also make sure you're in peak mental state. And make sure you pay this guy and talk to this guy. I also learned I wanted to do everything, single thing, with this show. I wanted to do payroll, I wanted to know elements of the production, I wanted to know how my chairs were in the union catering room. Just next time, I don't need to know all that stuff. I also learned you are only as good as the team around you, and we've discovered some new teammates over the course of All-In weekend. With respect to the future of the NWA title, Cody claimed that he would be like to continue on the NWA's tradition of having a traveling champion. Well, I wanted to continue the path of the traveling champion, Cody continued. That's kind of what I grew up on, the type of pro wrestling I like, even though it's a generation prior to me. When I look back at what Ric Flair was able to do, what Jack Briscoe was able to do, their date book alone, and not just, oh, I did it, but I did it, and it was the best thing of the night. Like, I did it with the consistency, but it rubbed some people the wrong way, and that's fine. I think most of the people enjoy it. I don't really believe in the politics of wrestling anymore. I don't understand if this isn't your company's title, but if you're asking me to come wrestle for your company, I'm wearing the damn title. There's no way around that, right? It takes an organization, it does, to facilitate and get that ring set up, and it takes a crew to tighten those ropes. But a big focus at All-In was this is a wrestling show by wrestlers, and yeah, there are some things we could have learned from a company standpoint and organization standpoint, but that's how I'm going to everything I do. When I go to Long Beach, California for the NWJ Fighting Spirit Unleashed to wrestle Juice Robinson for the IWGP United States Championship, I'll be wearing this too. I'm taking it everywhere I go, and I'm excited to do that. And there was, I think, a fan asked, what's his name? I can't think of his name. The guy who runs the NWA now, that can Cody defend the title outside of NWA's jurisdictions? And yes, he can, as long as it makes sense to all parties. So, yes, Cody Rhodes, as long as he keeps the championship by the time he goes to Fighting Spirit Unleashed, he is going to be facing Juice Robinson as the NWA Heavyweight Champion. Now, he can go and show he's up, but you have to, it's Billy Corgan, that's who it is. He has to probably inform Billy Corgan before a match can be made for the title outside of the NWA circuit. So if he goes to New Japan, Defiant Wrestling, Ring of Honor, anywhere, if he wants to put the title on the line, I'm pretty sure he has to be in contact with Billy Corgan the entire time. Speaking of Cody vs. Aldis 2 has been announced. The rematch of the spectacular NWA World Heavyweight Championship match from All-In has officially been signed for the NWA's 70th anniversary show. Nick Aldis defeated Doug Williams during the Wrestling Media Con this past weekend to reestablish himself as the #1 challenger for Cody's championship, and the rematch will be streamed on October 21st live on Fight. I do like the fact that Aldis had to earn an opportunity to fight for the championship. That's one drawback when WWE gets annoying, is that everybody, they have a quote unquote contract while you have a championship that has a rematch clause. I don't like rematch clauses, because then you get Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, or not that, but you get match after match after match after match after match again, and it just gets so annoying, especially when you want to flip-flop the title. Look what happened with Charlotte and Sasha Banks from 2016 to early 2017, I believe. They flip-flop the title every other week because rematch clause. Oh, I have a rematch clause. I'm going to win the title on Raw. You can invoke your rematch clause on pay-per-view. You beat me there, and then we'll go to Raw again, and I'll beat you there. That got annoying. It pretty much diminished the Raw Women's Championship. And I think it hasn't seen a better day now until Ronda Rousey won it. I mean, Sasha won it at SummerSlam last year, and then won it, at SummerSlam, and then lost it a couple nights later, the next week or so, again, because of a rematch clause. I like when you have to earn your championship matches. I do not like rematch clauses. So, anybody going to the 70th anniversary for the NWA show, or if you want to order it on the Fight app, it does not have the date here, October 21st, yeah. October 21st, book it, Fight TV, or at the 70th anniversary show, Nick Aldis, Cody 2, for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. If anything, I'm not going to watch the entire 70th anniversary show, but I will watch this match. I will find a way to watch this match, because I really don't want to I don't want to order a pay-per-view. If I can, I don't want to order a pay-per-view just to watch one match. I really don't know anything else on the NWA 70th anniversary show, but I do want to check out Cody vs. Aldis 2. It might be one of those things where it would be a mini review, and it is on a Sunday, so it would be for the episode of UnScripted the next week. I would probably do UnScripted, but I would do the Cody vs. Aldis match. I would talk about that one and everything, and then we go into our weekly review and everything else afterwards. So that is going to be interesting to see what it's going to be. That is actually, I believe, the week before Evolution. So anybody looking forward to seeing Cody vs. Aldis 2, mark your calendar for October 21st, Fight TV, Fight app, get ready for it. Certain WWE superstar says The Rock's daughter is training at the Performance Center, and that superstar is Zelina Vega, who overcame a lot to get to WWE, including an eating disorder and losing her father at a young age on September 11th. There was a video, two emotional videos. There was one before SmackDown and one after SmackDown of Zelina Vega talking about her father losing him on September 11th, 2001. And, yeah, like paying tribute to him on that episode of SmackDown. I'm not going to go into that stuff because I don't want to get emotional. But she says someone who has helped her through the tough times is The Rock, who she affectionately calls My Rock. Vega talked to Lillian Garcia on the latest episode of Chasing Glory with Lillian Garcia about how she first met The Rock and the role he played in her career. Vega says she saw The Rock a few years before actually meeting him, but she didn't have the guts to approach him. Then she saw him again backstage at Raw when she was a Rosebud and he was doing a segment with Rusev and Lana. Let's not talk about that segment, please. I think that was actually an episode of Raw that we didn't know The Rock was going to be there, and that was like one of the big pops of the night. That's when she told him the story about her father who worked in the World Trade Center and died in the 9/11 attacks. Both Vega and her father were big fans of The Rock, and she expressed how much he meant to them. She says, "We all have these amazing memories because of you." Vega told The Rock backstage, "I have some of the best memories with my dad because of you, and I just want to say thank you so much because those are the ones I hold really close to me along my journey to get here." The Rock was taken aback by her comments and actually texted Vega a month later that he read some articles about her late father. Their friendship continued to grow from there, and when Rock signed on to executive produce the Fighting With My Family movie, which he's based on Paige and her family, he helped Vega land the role of AJ Lee. Is that movie even happening still? Because, wasn't it, WrestleMania weekend, we got a trailer for that, but I haven't seen or heard anything about it since. Then we got that creepy look at Paige. He's like, Paige here. Is that movie even happening still? Because, again, we saw the video of The Rock and Paige, and like the actors playing Paige and her brother getting pretty much roasted by The Rock, and that was it. So is that even happening still? Rock called me and said, like, so, I know you've been down, and I know you've been thinking maybe you should give up on a few things, but I have this really great project that I'm working on, and I think you'd be perfect. Absolutely perfect, Vega told Garcia. When The Rock told her it was the role of AJ Lee, she said that role was perfect because she knows both Lee and Paige for a while. As to only two actual wrestlers involved with the film, Rock even had Vega pick out the stunt double for Paige in the movie. Rock helped out Vega in so many ways that Vega is honored to be able to help out The Rock when his daughter, Simone, expressed interest in following in her father's footsteps. She says, his daughter Simone and I have become so close to Vega. She's training now at the Performance Center. She's like, I want to learn from you. I knew that I wanted to start wrestling for sure when I saw you at Raw filming the movie. Simone just turned 17 years old in August and sounds like she's been thinking about wrestling for a while. Last year, she told The Hollywood Reporter that she's planned on pursuing a career in pro wrestling after graduating. Did you expect her to go anywhere else? She is The Rock's daughter. If she's any good, if she's anything like her father, like in the ring where she actually can wrestle, expect her to get the Charlotte Flair treatment. I'm not saying anything bad about that. It's just expect WWE to give her a massive push. She'll probably win the NXT Women's Championship. She'll probably be fast-tracked to Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live. And wherever Charlotte's not at, she'll probably be on the other brand. And you'll have the Raw and SmackDown run by Simone Johnson and Charlotte Flair. There you go. So I'm not going to say don't do it. If she wants to be a wrestler, go right ahead. If she's good at it, then by all means, let's see what you can do. She is only 17, so she's not she's not full-time. She's probably just taking, and she's probably not doing anything heavy. She's probably just like doing beginner classes with like Norman Smiley and stuff like that. But since she's only 17, we probably won't see anything from Simone or whatever they're going to give her until in 2019 or 2020. So it will be a while before we see Simone Johnson in an NXT ring. We'll talk about that later. News on Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory. Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory is sold out. The event takes place the 14th of October at the Melrose Ballroom in Queens. Man, October's got a lot going on. We have Super Showdown, Bound for Glory, Nick Aldis versus Cody 2, and Evolution. That's 4 major things going on right there. In Queens, New York, which seats about 1,300 people. Speaking of Bound for Glory, Impact Wrestling sent us the following press release announcing that Comda Advertising Connections will serve as the presenting sponsor for the event. Which, okay, we're not going to get into that, but congratulations to Impact Wrestling and getting it's a small venue. Impact Wrestling, I'm pretty sure Impact Wrestling could probably seat a 5,000 arena. 10 years ago, Impact Wrestling and TNA, when they were still TNA back then, probably would have been able to a lot better than a 1,300 arena. But they are just now rising back up. I do wish Impact Wrestling the best. I will look into Bound for Glory this time. I did not do Slammiversary just because it's just one of those things. But I have been keeping up a little bit more with Impact Wrestling. And I'm just going to say it now. Joe Hendry, my God, Joe Hendry, that was cold but hilarious. I love that entire little segment of them getting after Katarina this past Thursday on Impact. I did not watch Impact Wrestling because I was busy with other things. But their YouTube page had his latest music video led to Katarina, and it was hilarious. Just go check out Joe Hendry has a new song for Katarina. It was fucking hilarious. Matt Riddle's first feud, and I already talked about this, but as seen on NXT this past Wednesday, it appears that Matt Riddle's first NXT feud will be with Cassius Ohno. Ohno cut a heelless promo saying that he's a little annoyed that he's being forgotten about when every new shiny toy shows up to NXT. He then threw a reference to Riddle, telling Regal to let him know when his latest toy shows up, bro. Also, the Velveteen Dream also tweeted that message this week, slightly mocking Riddle's bro catchphrase. Dream tweeted, "Bro, I don't get it. Bro, I don't get it." So Dream, Matt Riddle, and Aleister Black, Velveteen versus Velveteen Dream and Cassius Ohno. Book it. That's going to be what you get right there. Cassius Ohno and the Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle and Aleister Black. Why Aleister Black and Matt Riddle? Because Cassius Ohno is the one who attacked Aleister Black, and Matt Riddle's Cassius Ohno is going to have a beef with Matt Riddle as well. And the Velveteen Dream earlier in the year was tweeting out and dissing indie darlings like Ricochet. He's going to do the same thing for Matt Riddle. He didn't really say anything about Keith Lee, but of course Keith Lee is that big, brilliant guy who could probably whip Velveteen Dream's ass. So I can honestly see if this plays out, Matt Riddle and Aleister Black will take on Velveteen Dream and Cassius Ohno. Book it. If it's a one-on-one match, Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno would probably still be a hell of a match, but we will have to wait and see because we do have the Aleister Black situation still going on, and I honestly think, well, by the time the next set of tapings go on, Aleister Black should be healthy enough to come back. But again, we'll have to wait and see, and I am looking forward. NXT is just so great because they leave you wanting more. Back in the Attitude Era, Monday Night Raw, 2 hours, it's over, you want more. You can't wait for the next week. Then they brought SmackDown, and it's like you couldn't wait for those next week when it was still the Attitude Era from 99, 2000, and before, before the Invasion angle. The Invasion angle is when everything started going down. But NXT has replaced all that, and it leaves you wanting more. So I can't wait to see what happens with Matt Riddle, Cassius Ohno, Aleister Black, and the Velveteen Dream. The Velveteen Dream, after being Johnny Gargano last week, should be inching close to a number one contendership for the NXT Championship, but it doesn't look like they're going that direction. Who will Tommaso Ciampa defend the title against next? I have absolutely no idea. We'll find out next set of tapings or the set of tapings after that. Oh, the WWE claims the Intercontinental Championship has quote-unquote been revived. WWE.com has an exclusive article talking about how Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, and Roman Reigns all brought the Intercontinental Championship back to relevancy. The article begins with the following narrative before breaking down the importance of title significance to Ziggler, Rollins, Reigns, and The Miz. They said, for a while, it was like clockwork. A superstar would win the Intercontinental title, and one of their first orders of business was to declare in no uncertain terms that they were going to single-handedly usher in a new era for the WWE's most beloved, underappreciated title. You could say that again. They were going to take it from town to town, defending in 30-minute classics each week and wipe away the bad memories of the wannabes. Also lands and never was. Who held the title to little lasting consequence. They were going to once again make the Intercontinental Championship a title that mattered. They were going to restore the prestige to it. In short, they were going to save it. That almost never happened. Whose fault is that, WWE? Whose fault is that? And if you ask the four superstars who held the title in 2018, 3 of the 4, it was a ridiculous thing to even promise in the first place, even though The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins were also guys who said they would do this. Seth Rollins will usher away from this because Dolph Ziggler and Miz were multi-time champions in the before this year. They've held the title multiple times and would say the exact same thing and never do anything. They told WWE the title didn't need saving, that it had always carried the lineage and prestige. This is designated as a title worthy of respect. Bullshit. Bullshit. First off, Miz, I can see. Bullshit to Roman Reigns. Roman won the title from The Miz and then lost the title to The Miz at Raw 25. There was no other title defenses. What did Roman Reigns do with the title besides win it from The Miz and then lose it back to The Miz? Oh, that's right, what he does with the Universal Championship. Throws it over his shoulder like it's a bag of garbage. Or it's a bag of laundry. Roman Reigns has no respect for any title. How many championships has Roman Reigns won? How many times has he not held the title? How many times has he not thrown the title over his shoulder? Other than the tag team titles that him and Seth Rollins held back in, 2013, every time he wins a championship, he grabs it, he throws it over his shoulder, and holds it like it's a bag of laundry. The guy did nothing with the Intercontinental title. He did nothing with it. The Miz, and I wouldn't say, back when, I think The Miz, the Intercontinental title really didn't see any prestige brought back to it until WrestleMania and that excellent triple threat match between him, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins, where Seth Rollins won the title. Then you get to the Super Showdown, and then that ladder match was definitely a great ladder match. I didn't agree with the ending, but that's not here or there. And then we get to Backlash. The only saving grace of Backlash was The Miz versus Seth Rollins in an excellent match. An excellent match. Those two put on a classic that anybody from Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Perfect, Roddy Piper, anybody else who was in those early days of the Intercontinental Championship would be proud of the match that those two put on at Backlash. Then that pay-per-view went down in the shitter after that match, but that's not here and there. That's neither here nor there. Then you had the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I believe that was where he defended against Elias. And he won. It wasn't the best match out there, but it was still a decent match. Then he opened challenge the next night and lost it to Dolph Ziggler. Then went to Extreme Rules, where they had one of the worst Iron Man matches of all time. And it's mostly not even their fault, other than the booking. You also had the crowd sitting there counting 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, beep, like a bunch of jackasses. I was embarrassed that night watching that match at Extreme Rules and having the crowd pretty much just be fucking stupid and be a bunch of hypocrites. Why are you putting Roman Reigns in the main event all the time? Put someone else there. Okay. We'll put Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck you, fans. I think they were in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh should never be allowed to hold another WWE event outside of a house show ever without embarrassment. And then we got the SummerSlam. Seth wins the title back in an excellent match. Defends it the very next night, I think it was. Yeah, the very next night against Kevin Owens, and probably one of the best matches on Raw this year. And then the Intercontinental title has disappeared again. The Intercontinental title has disappeared and is a background player to the Shield, helping Roman Reigns not get booed. And when we get to Hell in a Cell tonight, and you see Roman Reigns out there by himself, all the effort that you made since SummerSlam to get this guy cheered, and because he's with the Shield, goes straight down the tubes. Because he's going to get booed. Heavily booed. The Intercontinental title was revived from WrestleMania until the night after SummerSlam. It's for about a few months, the Intercontinental title felt important. You want to know another reason why the Intercontinental title felt important? Because the Universal Championship is a dead title that was on somebody who did not give a fuck about it, did not give a fuck about Monday Night Raw, and was nowhere to be found 95% of the time. When that title is not on Monday Night Raw, what else are they going to be happy for? What else? The Intercontinental title was pretty much given time to actually matter. From WrestleMania to the night after SummerSlam, the Intercontinental title felt important. You bring the Shield back together, you make it a background player to what Roman Reigns is doing with the Universal Championship, and it's now a dead title again. Like that. All the work that Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, and The Miz put into this title. Not Roman Reigns. He didn't do shit. He held the title. I don't have the title statistics, but I think he held the title for less than 3 weeks. He won the title. He lost the title like that. And then we went on to The Miz, who held it until WrestleMania, where it was a great triple threat match. The ladder match between those three and Samoa Joe was excellent at the Greatest Royal Rumble. It was one of the bright spots at the Greatest Royal Rumble, which was, of course, a glorified house show. The Elias match is okay. And from there on, the IC title was good until now. And in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it has done nothing since Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins put on that great match. Moving on here, update on the status of Neville. It's interesting that no indie bookings for Neville have been announced as of this writing. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that indie promotions have contacted Neville, but he is telling them that he can't accept dates yet. Bullshit. He might be hurt, though. That could be why. But we'll be able to very soon. This is worth noting because WWE recently confirmed that Neville would be free and clear to work anywhere he wants, as there was a no non-compete clause in effect when the release was announced in late August. As noted, Trevor has tried getting his release when he quit the company in October 2017, but officials were worried about him working elsewhere, which is why they decided to freeze his contract for almost a full year. So, why didn't you have a 90... Okay, Dana Bryan did not have a 90 days no compete clause on his contract. So September 1st, when he came around and he wasn't going to sign a new contract, he wouldn't have been at All In, but he would have been at the California show in October. He'd probably be on the NWA 70th anniversary show. Why did Neville not have a 90-day no compete clause? They could have made him have a 90-day no compete clause if they could have, and then things would have been fine. 90 days later, he would have did something, but they didn't do that. Neville has not issued any public comments since his release, and his social media has been inactive since September 28th of 2017. It's believed that many of his top indie promotions are interested in bringing him in. Yep. Would not surprise me if Neville is probably going to be at G1 Supercard. It would not surprise me if you see Pac, a.k.a. Neville, at G1 Supercard. Will he be at Wrestle Kingdom? More than likely. Well, that might be the first thing he does is Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know. Will he be at Death by Dishonor, which I think it is Death by Dishonor for Ring of Honor. at the end of the year, right? That's the last thing. It's Death by Dishonor, right? Whatever the final show is, one that they do at the end of the year, would not surprise me if he's there. He could be having, he might, working out, probably might have got injured. And it's not public knowledge because he hasn't been in the wrestling scene for about a year. So maybe that's why he can't take any bookings, but he's free and clear. So don't be surprised if you start seeing matches like Pac versus Christopher Daniels, or Pac versus Will Ospreay, which, oh my goodness, that would be a hell of a match. Pac versus Kazuchika Okada, or Pac versus Kenny Omega, or something. Maybe he joins the Bullet Club. Maybe he joins Chaos. Maybe he joins LIJ. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Neville, a.k.a. Pac, a.k.a. Neville, will be in the indie scene very, very soon. And I'll definitely be looking into it. I'll be interested to see what happens. Speaking of interest, WWE interested in signing Impact Wrestling star, and I've seen this one coming since the day he showed up on Impact Wrestling. WWE officials are interested in signing Impact Wrestling star Killer Kross. That would not be the name he uses in WWE, I'll tell you that if he went. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. No word yet on if WWE has put feelers out to Kross, but they are interested in the 33-year-old because of his size and look. I did not realize he was 33. That is old, man, for somebody. Kross stands out at 6 foot tall, 6 foot 4 inches, and weighs in at 265 pounds. It was noted that New Japan Wrestling is also interested in signing the big man. Kross started with Lucha Underground in 2015 and recently debuted as the White Rabbit. He began working with Lucha Libre AAA worldwide in 2017 and made his Impact Wrestling debut earlier this summer. Kross, who won the Rising Star Award at the 2018 Cauliflower Alley Club ceremony, is currently involved in a stable with Moose and Impact World Champion Austin Aries. I saw this guy show up in Impact Wrestling. I don't watch Lucha Underground. I have never seen Lucha Underground. And I was like, this dude, if WWE, if Vince McMahon is not, like, having a hard-on for this dude, then I don't know what to tell you. This dude is ripped. This guy is huge. This guy fits the WWE mold. It would not surprise me. But the biggest question is, he is working with Lucha Underground. Still, they just said he debuted as the White Rabbit. If he is signed on for multiple years, which, of course, with Lucha Underground, this could be their last season, but WWE can't they can put feelers out, but they can't even really talk to Killer Kross until the final episode of this season of Lucha Underground airs, which who knows when that is. So even if they have interest in signing this dude, which dude would be a hell of a heel in NXT, I'll tell you that right now. They have to wait a long time, and like I said, we'll have to wait and see, but definitely would be interesting to see. As soon as I saw Killer Kross attack Petey Williams on that episode where he was faking being a cop, and I was like, this dude is going to be signed. WWE is going to want this dude. He is huge. He is a beast. And this dude is definitely somebody that I could see being in WWE or NXT and being a monster heel. But I want to see Killer Kross in NXT. Yes, main roster, maybe, because he is a big dude. If he can cut a great promo, I honestly think Killer Kross is probably one of the few guys, goes to NXT, works there for a bit, gets acclimated to WWE style, comes up and actually gets a chance to be somebody. He could be the ultimate heel who gets Roman Reigns over as a babyface, because this guy is definitely somebody I could see being the guy who could feud against a Roman Reigns. I haven't seen much of him, but yes, he is in a stable with Moose and Austin Aries. So, like I said, he ain't going to be able to do anything until his Lucha Underground contract is over, and that could be the end of this year or the beginning of next year. Only time will tell. WWE accused of promotional malpractice with the post-Mania booking of Daniel Bryan. This is a big one. Dave Meltzer took to Wrestling Observer Radio to express his displeasure with the way Daniel Bryan has been booked in the WWE since WrestleMania. Dave Meltzer says, and I quote, "God, was Daniel Bryan just a guy on that show, cheerleading his wife. The whole Daniel Bryan booking since WrestleMania that actually should go down as promotional malpractice is over As over as he was when he first made his comeback to where he is now, he's still popular in their chants, but he's just a guy. Even guys in the company bring it up on the road. He's more than just a guy, but yeah, if you watch the TV, he's just a guy on the roster, and he should be much, much more than that. Why? Why this happened? Why this happened? The booking post WrestleMania is simple. WWE had no idea what Daniel Bryan was going to do. Daniel Bryan didn't come to them and say, yeah, I'm going to sign a new contract with you guys. He literally, it feels like Daniel Bryan literally waited until the final minute, like the final second. Like you see in basketball players shooting, like the time's running down, and it's a tie ball game where you're down by 1 or down by 2, and you need a 3. The time's running down. You shoot the 3, and it goes in at the buzzer. That's how it felt for them. They were sweating because this guy was so close to walking out. He could have turned them down and said, you know what? Thank you for bringing me back, but I'm out of here. They didn't know it was going to happen. That's why you saw AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan 2 nights after WrestleMania. You saw Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe with Big Cass in there. That sucked, but it was still. You really didn't see Daniel Bryan in any big feuds until now with The Miz. That's mostly because Daniel Bryan had WWE by the string of by like a pull string, and not pretty much committing to WWE the second WrestleMania was over. If Daniel Bryan commits to WWE the second WrestleMania is over, then boom, we see a different booking for Daniel Bryan. Now that he is signed, they can go on with The Miz and everything else. Is it bad? Yeah, WWE, like, it was just like this past Tuesday's main, like, quote unquote main event was just a joke. It was an absolute joke to even tease a Brie Bella and Maryse match in any way, shape, or form. It was just a way to get Daniel Bryan and The Miz to get physical again. There was a scary bump when Miz yanked out Brie Bella and she landed hard on the floor. That was pretty much that's on the Miz's. It was an accidental bump, pretty much. It was the Miz's fault because he's used to pulling guys like a Daniel Bryan or somebody else, and they're like 200 and some pounds, whereas soaking wet, Brie Bella was probably not even 100 pounds. He just yanked her at the same he would at Daniel Bryan, and she just flew out of the ring. But yeah, it was just a way for them to get Daniel Bryan and The Miz to brawl again, which was stupid. They could have eased all of our pain and just had these two teams or these two couples in the ring cutting promos, and then Daniel Bryan goes to attack The Miz, or The Miz gets behind Maryse, tosses her into Daniel Bryan and attacks him or whatever else, and they could have just had the brawl anyway. There was no reason to advertise Brie Bella versus Maryse. It just felt like because you had Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy brawl, and then as soon as that graphic came up, that main event was Brie Bella versus Maryse, the Cajun Dome, I think they were in the Cajun Dome, just the air went out. That show was dead from there. Hopefully Daniel Bryan will be on the path of getting to where he needs to be now. But what they did this past Tuesday, yes, Daniel Bryan feels like just a guy. And that's WWE's fault. And that's another thing that sucks about WWE and why Stephanie McMahon makes no sense when she says they listen to their fans. Everybody feels like just another guy or girl. You had Asuka, 900 and some days undefeated, gets beat by Charlotte. She's just another spoke on the wheel. She's just another girl. Daniel Bryan comes back from a 2-year hiatus in the wrestling business because of injuries. Big pop at WrestleMania. We get past SummerSlam and he's just another guy. Everybody who comes up from NXT, they're just another cog in the machine of WWE. Unless your name is Roman Reigns, you don't mean nothing. Now, yes, you have like a Samoa Joe who stands out as a badass heel. You have AJ Styles, who is the best wrestler in the world on WWE. He can be argued between Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega, and AJ Styles, but I'm going with AJ, just saying. But hopefully Daniel Bryan can be seeing the resurgence in next year in 2019, 5 years after he won the title last time. hopefully he can win the title at WrestleMania 35, and we can get that title run that would not end with Brock Lesnar destroying him like he was supposed to. We have a machine, a submission machine, passing him out at SummerSlam. That is what we have to talk about that. But, yeah. One last thing before we get into the big story. Backstage news on plans for more managers in WWE. It looks like we'll be seeing more managers on WWE TV from here on out, at least until Vince McMahon changes his mind. Which, remember, can happen like that. Vince McMahon can walk into a room, see something, and be like, change it. No, change it back. No, change it again. Change it back. Like that. That's Vince McMahon's thinking. He likes something, he'll like it for about 2 seconds, and and Vince McMahon is like, ooh, shiny toy, shiny toy. I'm done with that. Ooh, shiny toy, shiny toy. Nah, I'm done with that. That's how Vince McMahon is. He's like a child that changes their mind on everything at a whim. There have been talk about bringing in managers from the indies to have them work future roles with superstars already under contract. No word yet on which managers we might be interested in, but the recently put in WWE 205 Live general manager Drake Maverick with the Authors of Pain, and also 205 superstar Leo Rush with Bobby Lashley, both on the Raw brand. The Observer speculated that Vince McMahon's anti-manager sentiment that has been an issue for a long time seems to have dissipated with the success of Paul Heyman's character with Brock Lesnar. Word is that WWE officials are now back to thinking about using managers in storyline. Not everybody needs a manager. Not everybody. Authors of Pain do. I wish they would have somebody else who fit the role besides Drake Maverick, who looks like he's playing Halloween dress-up every single day. Leo Rush with Bobby Lashley makes no sense because Leo Rush is a bona fide heel. Bobby Lashley right now is a face. Bobby Lashley does need somebody to talk for him because Bobby Lashley has never been good on the mic. Never. Sometimes I think he's scared to be on the mic. He's scared. But definitely, and Drew Gulak, who's also seen on Monday Night Raw the last 2 weeks, helping the heels beat down the Shield, probably will be paired off with somebody too. Who that is, I don't know. But yes, managers are definitely a plus for some people, but not everybody needs them. Just give them the people who need them and go from there. And no, I do not want to see, we do have Zelina Vega on SmackDown, but I do not want to see people who have managers just go like when the Miz Taraj with the Miz, where they win by cheating every single match. That's all Miz did when he was with the Miz Taraj. He won every single match by cheating. Like, when he did a SummerSlam, it made sense because it helped continue the storyline with Daniel Bryan. But we don't need to see distraction every single time. No, please don't. Let's just not do that. Managers are fine. They help those who aren't really good at talking to, be built up by somebody who can talk for them. We'll see what happens. Definitely going to, Leo Rush, again, with Bobby Lashley makes no sense unless you're going to turn Bobby Lashley heel and stop having that, my man, Leo Rush. Oh, my God, that was horrible. That just sounded so awful for him. Moving on here to the main story and something that, definitely shows that WWE has lost their damn mind, and I don't know what the hell they're thinking. Apparently, there was a run sheet that dropped a couple of days ago. I think it was actually on Monday or Tuesday. That showed, it looked like it was official from WWE, and it was every match and segment for the WWE Evolution pay-per-view. There are, and as followed, NXT Women's Championship match for the UK, Rhea Ripley versus Kelly versus Dakota Kai. Now, one problem with this match is who's the women's champion, and why is I know they want to defend the title at Evolution. Are you going to start showing all episodes of the UK show before we get to Evolution? Because they had the set of tapings in set in July, which was before, and then they had the set tapings last month at the Download Festival, where they had the Women's Championship Tournament. And when the champion of Rhea Ripley, Dakota Kai, or Kelly shows up, and is holding the NXT Women's Championship for the UK, and everyone's wondering, how did she win the championship? Well, if you went at the Download Fest and they don't show it, it's going to make absolutely no sense. Will they talk about it? I don't know. I'm okay with this match. This is one of those that I'm okay with. A special announcement of some kind. This part right here just pisses me off, and I don't want to see it, period. Talk show with Carmella and the ladies of Glow. Leave Glow out of this. This is supposed to be Evolution for your company. Glow has nothing to do with, not the old Glow. Glorious Ladies of Wrestling was what Ivory came from. That's fine if you want to bring those ladies back, including Ivory, which I doubt. The Glow on Netflix has nothing to do with anything WWE. Why are you going to waste my time with this segment? The Riot Squad versus Bayley and Sasha Banks and Ivory. Speaking of glories of the old Glow, why is Ivory being thrown into a match with Sasha Banks, Bayley, and the Riot Squad? And again, why are we getting for a umpteenth time? We've seen this already 20 million times already this year. The Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks and Bayley on Evolution. That is failure number 2. I don't know what the special announcement is. Maybe it's the introduction to the tag team titles. That we'll get to that in a second. But that's 2 failures in a row. Mae Young Classic Finals versus, I'm not going to say who it is if you don't want to know. I'm not going to spoil it for you right here. The winners are some of the finalists are on here, but I'm not going to spoil that. 20-woman battle royal. Winner faces NXT Women's Champion Kairi Sane later in the night. Watch it be Brie Bella. Watch Brie Bella win that just so they can get Brie Bella to get an extra spotlight. Asuka versus Ember Moon. Fine with that. Naomi versus Melina. Don't really care for it, but whatever. Mickie James versus Lita. Kairi Sane versus Battle Royal winner, which honestly I disagree with this. This should be where Shayna Baszler gets her rematch. This is where Shayna Baszler should get her title rematch. But they want to go with the Battle Royal. Watch it be Brie Bella, or Kelly, or Michelle McCool, or one of the legends that had no business going up against NXT Women's Champion Kairi Sane. Plain and simple. That would just be a waste. Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus. No thank you. This one right here, this next one, kind of debunks this a little bit because Stephanie McMahon did say the tag team titles will not be ready for Evolution. But on this list it says, Women's Tag Team Championship match, Alicia Fox and Kelly versus the Iconics versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya. You have 2 teams that, if this match was to happen, you have 2 teams that are going to win this. It's either going to be the Iconics or Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And why is Bayley and Sasha Banks not in this? Why would you have Bayley and Sasha Banks versus the Riot Squad again instead of in a fatal 4-way for the vacant women's tag team titles? Can someone explain that one to me? Why are we going to get Bayley and Sasha Banks versus the Riot Squad part 20? I think we're at now, part 20. How many times are we going to get Bayley and Sasha Banks versus the Riot Squad? Is Vince McMahon that fucking delusional that he can't fucking remember booking that match 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fucking weeks in a row? Are you kidding me? SmackDown Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. And this makes this a complete failure. Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship in the main event. We had Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. And that was a complete squash. You have Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey tonight. Again, should be a complete squash. Nikki Bella cannot fucking wrestle. Nikki Bella cannot fucking talk on the microphone. Nikki Bella makes me want to change the fucking channel. I don't give a fuck what cocksuckers are out there wanting to say Nikki Bella is great in the fucking ring. I don't give a fuck what like Total Bellas or Total Divas. Fuck that shit. There is absolutely no reason that you can say this is an evolution by putting somebody who has no business fighting for the Raw Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey. Give me Ember Moon. Give me Mickie James. Give me somebody else Give me Bayley. Give me Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey. Give me a viable main event. No. Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. If you want that match, opens the fucking show. You want to give me a main event for Evolution. You put Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch in the main event, and that is when you give Becky Lynch her crowning achievement. When she goes out there and takes down the vile Charlotte Flair, who has turned her back, backstabbed her best friend, and stole the title from her at SummerSlam, and has cheated every which way to keep her away from the title. That's your main event. That is a main event worthy of this pay-per-view. This is going to be a terrible pay-per-view. Especially, like I said, UK title match, fine. The Mae Young Classic, fine. The Ember Moon Asuka match, okay. The women's title match for NXT, I am very skeptical about it. This is how this is going to be, because you have Kairi Sane versus somebody, and it probably won't be somebody from NXT or the main roster. It's probably going to be a legend. It's, like I said, watch it be Kairi Sane versus Brie Bella, or Kairi Sane versus Maryse. Give me a fucking break, and that is a possibility. Watch it be Kairi Sane versus Kelly. Oh wait, she's already in the match, isn't she? Never mind. Kelly's in a match, so that's not going to happen. Woo! Okay, don't have to worry about that one. Watch it be Kairi Sane versus Michelle McCool, or just all the possibilities that it could be to give us a match that nobody wants to see. Unless it is Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler in a rematch of the TakeOver Brooklyn match, you have done fail. If I get Kairi Sane versus Brie Bella or Maryse or Michelle McCool or anyone else who is not on an active roster right now, you have totally fucked up. Asuka versus Ember Moon, fine. Naomi versus Melina, I don't really care. Melina couldn't wrestle. Melina might be improved from what she was in WWE, but the last time I saw Melina in WWE, she wasn't a good wrestler. She wasn't. She was better off doing the split when she was with Eminem, Mike Nature, and Mercury. But no, I do not want to see her versus Naomi. Riot Squad versus Bayley and Sasha Banks, but let's throw Ivory in there. That's going to make a difference. How so? How so? And how are you going to justify Ivory in the match with these two? It makes no fucking sense. No sense at all. And Mickie James versus Lita, we've seen before. It's been years, so that's going to be a fine one. I'm fine with that. Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus is going to be absolute trash, and it's not Trish's fault. Trish Stratus is a good worker. She's been out of the ring for a couple years. I mean, she was at the Royal Rumble, but Alexa Bliss is terrible in the ring. She has done nothing to improve, and the fact that she's given this opportunity to face a legend like Trish Stratus just shows the favoritism of Alexa Bliss in the back. This should be a Trish Stratus versus Bayley, or Trish Stratus versus Sasha Banks match, or Trish Stratus versus Mickie James, Trish Stratus versus Lita, something like that. Why are we getting Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss? The reason they brought Alexa Bliss up like that is because they thought they had the new Trish Stratus. Yeah, no. She can't hold a candle to the in-ring work of Trish Stratus or on the microphone of Trish Stratus. I'm sorry. Alexa Bliss is garbage. And the fact that she has been given opportunity after opportunity, she is like the Charlotte Flair of the brand that Charlotte Flair is not on. It's absolute trash. This entire pay-per-view, top to bottom, is just going to be trash. And you can already tell Triple H is not going to be in charge of this. It's going to be a Vince McMahon run pay-per-view. So we're going to get garbage. Absolute garbage. And the ticket sales, from what I hear, are not even selling that well. So WWE wants to make this a yearly pay-per-view, by the way. So, yeah. Let's see how well this does. Let's see how well this does on the network. I'm telling you right now, if the WWE Network didn't exist, this pay-per-view would not exist. Plain and simple. If the WWE Network did not exist, WWE would not do an all-women's pay-per-view, because they already know that with this lineup, they wouldn't even sell 5,000 buys. There would not be probably wouldn't even be 2,000 buys on pay-per-view. So Yeah, this is just trash, absolute trash. And you want to call this an evolution? What are you evolving? You have Alexa Bliss, who sucks in the ring, sucks on the mic, doesn't even want to take a bump, doesn't like to wrestle, against one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. You have Bayley versus and Sasha Banks with Ivory versus the Riot Squad again. It'd be one thing if you saw the Riot Squad beat down Bayley and Sasha Banks during their match during the Superstar Shakeup, saw it once at a pay-per-view a few months later, and then you didn't see it again until Evolution. But we've seen it every fucking week. Week after week after week. Come on. Give me something else. Switch out Fox and Kelly and put Bayley and Sasha Banks in there. You want to put the Riot Squad in there? Get rid of Beth Phoenix and Natalya. Beth Phoenix, in my opinion, should be calling this show. Her, Renee Young, should be calling the show. It's an all-women pay-per-view, so I don't want to see a guy. I don't want to see Michael Cole. I don't want to see Corey Graves. I don't want to see Tom Phillips. I don't want to see any of those guys. Beth Phoenix and Renee Young and some other female calling this show. That is it. You're going to have JoJo announce the show. You're going to have all women on the announce team in the commentary booth. The only thing that's not going to be all women is the referees, because they only have 2 women referees contracted to the WWE right now, and you're not going to have 2 female referees do referee duties for an entire show. That would be overkill. That would be definitely overkill. But Beth Phoenix should not be wrestling in this show. She is better suited for the booth. I'm just saying. Lita versus Mickie James has been announced. That's going to happen. The only ones we know so far is Trish versus Alexa Bliss and Lita versus Mickie James. Everything else is just circumstances right now. But this just makes me wonder, why the fuck did they even try? Why announce an all-women's pay-per-view if this is what we're going to get? Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella in the main event. I don't give a fuck what Nikki Bella does for Total Divas. I don't give a fuck what she does for Total Bellas. She is not a wrestler to be. She should not be main eventing anything. She should not be main event. She has to have some pull with John Cena still, because if she's getting this main event spot, John Cena has something to do with it. Don't tell me otherwise. I don't want to give a fuck what they said, how they broke up, if they've really broken up. Bullshit. That was all for show. If they're still doing something in the behind the scenes in private, because there is absolutely no fucking way Nikki Bella should be running or being in any match with Ronda Rousey. That match for the main event, and I don't want to. If that match happens, I don't want to see Ronda Rousey selling for Nikki Bella. Period. You go in, you snap her arm, and that's that. 30 seconds. That's how long that match should last. 30 fucking seconds. The bell rings, judo flip, snap her arm, and I don't mean just do that. And if you've seen Ronda Rousey's armbar, it doesn't even look legitimate if you look at it. If you look at it close, her armbar doesn't even look like an armbar. She just folds her arm back and falls backwards. That's it. Does not look like an armbar. But she needs to literally, instead of doing that weak armbar, just break her damn arm so we don't see Nikki Bella for another 9 months. Let her go on to her little thing, and that's that. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch, as I said, should main event this show. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have been built for months. For like weeks. It'll be months. When we get to Evolution next month, it'll be at least they'll be building this for about 3 months. That match should be your main event. Plain and simple. That match. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Becky getting her crowning achievement at Evolution when she beats Charlotte Flair. Then after the show, after it's all said and done, you have Bayley, Sasha Banks. I think I know how they're going to set this thing up, too. And this is sad. Bayley, Sasha Banks, come down. All 4 women embrace. 4 horsewomen of MMA come out, and you have a stare down. They all brawl, and that's how you set up for Survivor Series. I think that's how that's going to happen. Okay, if you see when we get to Evolution, this match happened, because this will happen either a semi-main event or main event or whatever. This match happened, and you have Charlotte does the honors, for Becky Lynch. Bayley and Sasha Banks are going to come down after this match is over with. They're all going to get in the floor. They're all going to be in the ring. They're all going to hug. They're going to do the four horsewomen, the four, like they would like they did it Takeover Brooklyn, and somehow, some way, Jessamine Duke, Ramona Shafir, Shayna Baszler, and Ronda Rousey are all going to come down. They're going to have a stare down, and all four women are going to brawl, and that's going to set up your four horsewomen versus four horsewomen match for Survivor Series. If that happens, I'm a damn genius, and I booked it here. But that is going to be all for Unscripted this week. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, give me some comments and let me know what you think of everything we talked about here. What are your thoughts on the entire, supposedly, Women's Evolution pay-per-view being leaked, as well as everything else in between this and Stephanie McMahon's delusional talk that she had this past Wednesday. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at The Fronts and follow me on twitch.tv/TheFronts08. I should be back to streaming on Monday. I just got a new headset for my PS4, so I should be able to start streaming. My other headset just died on me, so I wasn't able to stream. But I should be back to streaming most of the time, starting next on Monday after I'm done with Hell in a Cell and the Hell in a Cell review. Until then, make sure to go watch my Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Mae Young Classic, as well as my preview and predictions before tonight's Hell in a Cell. Until then, my name is The Fronts. I will see you guys tomorrow, for a Hell in a Cell preview and results and reactions to what I think is going to probably just be 3 matches, and they're all on SmackDown. The Hell in a Cell for SmackDown, the Women's Championship match, and of course AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. Will they put the title on Joe, or are we just continuing on till Super Showdown? But that's going to be all. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.